Are you worried about losing your job to AI? Or you don't even bother learning to code because you think, what's the point? AI is going to replace all developers anyway. About the fact that no one hires juniors anymore. Let's talk about the 5 reasons you won't learn to code in 2024. Let's start with the reason I hear the most why people do not learn to code in 2024. AI. The overwhelming thought is that AI will replace all coders, so there's no point in even pursuing the career. But this fear is way overblown. The fact is, the hype of AI is way bigger than its capability. Corporations like OpenAI, Microsoft, and NVIDIA need people to believe it will replace complete sectors like coders. They are selling the hype and not its current capability. OpenAI, according to recent reports, will lose over $5 billion in 2024 and will need to raise additional capital to avoid bankruptcy in the near future. The reason is OpenAI and Copilot have not found a use case beyond ChatGPT. So what can a state-of-the-art AI do today? Can it complete a coding task without intervention? Can it build a website? At its peak, it is a good assistant for a knowledgeable developer. Can it help you learn new things? Sure. Can it make you a developer if you do not have any knowledge? No. But someone is likely going to leave a comment on this video that they're not a developer. They know nothing about coding, but they used AI and made a web page. Sure, but I'm going to tell that person without even seeing the web page that it sucks. They just don't know that it sucks. And building simple websites is not the job. Once you transition to web application developer, where you're tasked with building applications that solve real problems in industries like transportation, banking, or healthcare, AI is just an assistant at best. I've used enough AI to know what it's capable of compared to a developer, and it's nowhere near. To get the most out of AI, you have to possess the knowledge. The more you have, the better you can leverage the tools. But AI cannot make you a junior developer. If you're a junior developer, it cannot make you into the mythical 10x developer. Prompt engineering is a skill, it's not the job. The bottom line is, don't base your future on hype. Market saturation is a common reason we see people avoiding the industry. They believe with boot camps and colleges and online courses, way too many people are entering the field. The supply of coders far exceeds the job demands. In other words, no one hires junior developers. The job outlook for just web developers is 16% growth over the next decade, which is much faster than average. If you consider all software development fields, the growth is 25% over the next decade. Considering the growth rate and the pay rate, coding is still considered one of the best jobs to pursue. So you see a job posted on Indeed and you see 500 applicants. You assume that the competition is too high for the role, so why bother? But what you don't realize is most of the applicants are not qualified and the number is inflated by job boards that apply people to roles that are not even looking for or even know about the role. I post roles for developers and have called people who did not apply for the role. I get about 10 qualified candidates out of 100 apps when I post for a role. The biggest mistake people make when applying is they never reach out to the hiring manager directly. If you reach out to the hiring manager directly via email, LinkedIn, and yes, the old-fashioned phone call, you can dramatically increase your chances of getting an interview. This can take your application from the middle of the stack all the way to the top. So you're reading social media with all the horror stories of people submitting 1,000 applications and have been looking for a dev job for multiple years. So it makes sense that you fear no one is going to hire you. The reason some are not being hired, much less getting an interview, has very little to do with market conditions. The reason is they do not know enough. They simply don't possess the skills required to get a dev job. Most do not even know what the minimal requirements are. Social media influencers and some course creators will tell you all you need to know is HTML, CSS, a little bit of JavaScript, and then you too can make 6 figures as a web developer. So then make a portfolio with tic-tac-toe and a Pokemon character index and they can't understand why no one will even interview them. If you've gone through the pain of submitting 1,000 applications with no results, your skills are either don't match or they're way too low. At Coder Foundry, we know where that bar is. We teach to this bar. You need a portfolio of business class projects. The projects needed to solve problems like a bug tracker that demonstrate the 5 key skills you must have: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SQL, and some kind of server-side language like C#. We teach you all these skills at Coder Foundry so that you can create a portfolio that gets you noticed. Check out this detailed video if you want more information about portfolio projects. No-code and low-code tools have been around since we started building websites, and many people will tell you that these tools will decrease the need for developers, and any person with a computer can build a website these days. In fact, it's the opposite. These tools have increased the demand for developers. Often the job falls to someone with the technical ability to use the tool. Very rarely is the untrained person the one building the website. These tools also have limitations. They're capable of creating simple web pages and sites, but creating a complex web application still requires a developer. Even if it is built on these platforms, low-code can still be complex. Global competition for technical people is a thing. People do work on projects from outside the U.S. for U.S.-based companies. It's a fact. But global competition is not the reason you're not going to get a job in 2024. Development in the U.S. will never be completely outsourced to foreign companies. Even with offshoring projects, development jobs have continued to expand every year. Make no mistake, if you have the right skills, being in the U.S. is an absolute advantage. You have a cultural and language advantage. In addition, in most cases, you're going to be local to the company wanting to hire for the job. And even in a remote job scenario, you're at most 3 hours time difference. From the company's perspective, background checks and education checks are easier, visa sponsorship is not required, intellectual property concerns are less, security concerns are less, and less legal and hiring process complexity. Many companies will never hire offshore development and will only work with U.S.-based talent. There's never been a better time to learn to code than right now in 2024. None of these common reasons we hear all the time will stop you from getting a developer job. A person with the right skills and the right amount of effort will break in. There's never been a better time than right now. If you only take away one thing from this video when it comes to AI, don't believe the hype. I hope this helps. Good luck and keep coding.